Hey there, nature lovers. Welcome back to The Natural Life. From health to homemaking, where we balance health and home with natural wisdom and a little bit of everything in between. I'm your host, Brenda Romanowski, and today we are tackling a topic that's been on my mind during my recent hikes with Mark, my husband, and Bo Baroni, our standard poodle, for those of you that don't know. And that is the effect of technology on our outdoor experiences. Now, let me just start with a quick story. Picture this. So on a beautiful hike just a few weeks ago, surrounded by the forest and these towering trees and the sound of a bubbling creek not too far off and the luscious views. And as I walked, I couldn't resist pulling out my iPhone that was in my pocket. I wanted to snap some pictures of the breathtaking views, and I even used an app to kind of identify some areas on the trail. Now, it was fun, it was educational, but let's be honest, a little social media worthy, right? But here's the kicker. I found myself checking my notifications and scrolling through social media or some other apps, all while I was standing in the middle of this stunning forest. And it made me realize that while technology can enhance our outdoor adventures, it also can pull us away from the very beauty we're there to enjoy. Sound familiar? Today, we are going to explore that duality, right? We're going to discuss the benefits that technology brings to our outdoor activities, like navigation apps, the ability to connect with other people, some of those kind of things. But we're also going to examine the potential downsides, like distractions and our over reliance on devices, right? We all have it. These devices are killing us, right? I want to invite you to reflect on your own experiences in nature. Do you find that your gadgets enhance your time outdoors, or do they sometimes get in the way? By the end of this episode, I hope we are going to have a better handle on how to use technology without letting it take over, so that we can actually enjoy nature instead of just documenting it. All right, let's jump into it. So let's dive into the benefits of technology when we're out in nature on adventures. That's what I like to call them. Mark and I go on lots of adventures. I know a lot of folks love to bash tech for taking us away from the great outdoors. But let's be real. There are some pretty awesome ways it can actually enhance our experiences. So we're going to break it down. First up is navigation, right? Remember when we used to rely on paper maps and compasses? Or our memories? Oh, forget that. Those days are mostly behind us because now we've got these amazing apps like All Trails, Onyx, Gaia GPS that are game changers for absolutely anyone who loves to hike, right? Seriously, these tools let us access detailed trail maps. They let us track our routes. They even download maps to use offline. No signal needed. And that really can come in handy because there's a lot of places I know where we go where the signal is lost. Research from the National Park Service shows that using GPS devices has really cut down on the number of people getting lost in the wilderness. And there's a study that found that hikers using these tools were way less likely to get disoriented compared to those that were sticking to traditional methods. And let's not forget the safety features many of these apps offer, right? Like emergency contacts, alerts. And trust me, having that peace of mind can make all the difference when you're out in the wild. I know it has for us many, many times. Now let's talk about how tech can make our outdoor adventures even more enjoyable. I mean, who doesn't like snapping some incredible photos when you're hiking, right? With apps like Instagram and CapCut is a biggie right now, we can actually capture and share the beauty around us like never before. I mean, did you see some of those templates on CapCut? It's not just about sharing our adventures, though. It's about documenting those moments for ourselves, too, right? We want to look back at those pictures ourselves. And then there are apps like iNaturalist and Seek, which are basically nature nerd gold mines, if you will. Just point your phone at a plant or a critter and boom, you know exactly what it is. It's like having a pocket-sized nature guide without the heavy book. And using these kind of tools can actually help us connect with the outdoors even more. In fact, a study in the Journal of Outdoor Recreation and Tourism found that tech can boost our environmental awareness and even make us more likely to protect these beautiful places, which they really do need protecting. So, hey, maybe a little screen time in the wild isn't such a bad thing after all. And then we can't really ignore one of the coolest things, in my opinion, that tech brings to the table, and that is connection. Social media and online forums, for lack of a better word, are kind of like virtual campfires where outdoor lovers can swap stories and they can share hidden gem trails or tips. You can dish out the best hiking tips. I love scrolling through Facebook groups and Reddit threads where people geek out over their favorite climbing routes or debate the best trail snacks. It's always going to be peanut butter, by the way. And if you're looking to find your people in real life, apps like Meetup and Strava make it super easy to join local hiking groups or outdoor events. And Strava is actually for running or walking. I use it for walking. And it turns out that spending time in nature is even better when you've got good company, right? In fact, research from the University of Minnesota found that people who adventure with others actually enjoy the experience more. So, whether it's an online chat or an in person trek, technology can help us build community. And that makes the great outdoors even greater. And let's also talk about accessibility for a minute, because technology can make the outdoors more accessible to everyone, including folks with disabilities. Didn't know that, did you? I didn't until I was researching for this episode. There are apps that provide information on wheelchair-friendly trails, accessible amenities, and this can empower even more people to experience nature, which why wouldn't they want to? Nature is so healing for us. And according to the National Park Service, inclusive tech has opened up outdoor spaces to a wider audience, and that's something that we really should all celebrate. There's so many people these days that don't go out because they don't have the accessible features. Well, now you can look them up. All right. So bottom line, technology can be an awesome sidekick for outdoor adventures. It can help us navigate safely to teaching us about the world around us and connecting with a few fellow nature lovers. It's got a lot going on for it. But as with anything, there's a flip side. So now that we've covered all the ways that tech can enhance our time outside, let's talk about the ways it can also interfere with it. Because let's be real, sometimes our gadgets end up stealing the show instead of just supporting it. So let's break it down. First up, let's chat about distractions. Do you ever find yourself on this gorgeous trail surrounded by stunning views, and then you pull out your phone to check your notifications? Guilty as charged, right? I mean, we go out to connect with nature, but sometimes it feels as if we're more connected to our screens. And the Journal of Environment and Behavior found that people who use smartphones while outdoors often report feeling less connected to their surroundings. So while that Instagram story might get a few likes, it could be costing you the feeling of true presence in nature. It's kind of like going to a 5-star restaurant, ordering the best meal on the menu, and then scrolling through pictures of food instead of eating it. Why not just savor the moment, right? Now we got to talk about over-reliance. We are so connected to these phones, and it is super convenient to have a GPS guiding us. But what happens when that battery dies or you lose signal? I mean, I know I'm in a new place. I use my GPS a lot, but I'm trying to memorize paths, right, of those areas I go to most common. I mean, it's not exactly a fun adventure when you're wandering around aimlessly because you forgot how to read a map. The University of California found that hikers who rely too heavily on technology often lose the ability to navigate using traditional methods. What? That's not good. It's like we're becoming GPS dependent, and that's not a great skill to lose when you're in the middle of nowhere or when you're getting older. And we all are. Now let's talk about the environmental impact. This was shocking to me. While we cannot ignore the environmental impact of technology, we do love our gadgets, but the production and disposal of electronic devices can contribute to pollution and waste. And according to the EPA, which I know, it's not my favorite agency either, but e-waste is becoming one of the fastest growing waste streams. So while you're out there enjoying nature, let's remember that our tech habits can create a pretty big footprint. It's kind of like bringing fast food wrappers to a picnic in a national park. It just doesn't vibe with the whole nature lover thing, you know? And then there's the social media pressure. We have all seen those beautiful jaw-dropping photos of someone scaling a mountain with a perfect sunset behind them, right? While it's inspiring, it can also lead to unrealistic expectations about what our outdoor adventure should look like. It's like showing up to a potluck and realizing that everyone brought homemade gourmet dishes while you just brought some salsa and chips. Social media makes adventures look like a National Geographic cover shoot, right? Meanwhile, I'm over here just trying not to trip over a tree root and face plant down into a puddle, right? Priorities, people. The University of Michigan found that social media can create feelings of inadequacy among outdoor enthusiasts. And this should not be a shock, right? Because there's inadequacy with all of social media, really. So instead of enjoying our time in nature, we're kind of worried about how many likes our posts are going to get. Let's remember, it's not about the perfect shot. It's about the experience. It's about the adventure. Don't forget that, people. So to sum it up, while technology has its benefits, it's crucial to be mindful of the downsides: distractions, over-reliance, environmental impacts, social media pressure. They all can detract from our outdoor experiences. The trick is finding that sweet spot, how to use tech to make our adventures better without letting us pull it away from what really matters, because actually being present and soaking in the beauty around us is what matters, and the people around us, right? Adventures, experiences. You're going to hear me say that many times throughout this podcast. So now that we've tackled the ups and downs of using technology in nature, let's get into the nitty gritty of finding that sweet balance, because let's be honest, living in the digital age doesn't mean we have to sacrifice our connection to the great outdoors. So how do we strike that balance? Well, first things first, we have to consider designating some tech-free time during your outdoor adventure. I mean, I know it sounds a little radical, like suggesting we all go back to using rotary phones instead of smartphones, but hear me out. Setting aside those devices can help you truly immerse yourself in the experience. Research from the University of Utah found that spending time in nature without distractions can significantly boost your mood and your mental clarity. It's kind of like giving your mind a mini vacation without the overpriced resort fees. So, why not try a tech detox day? Remember, I said this in a previous episode. Just leave the phone in the car, enjoy the sights and sounds and smells of nature. Trust me, you might find it's the best way to reconnect with your inner explorer, right? Take those adventures. Try that detox I mentioned in a previous episode, just for 7 days even. Now, if you cannot bear to part with your devices, and let's be real, it's sometimes hard, aim for mindful use. This means being intentional about when and how you use technology while you're on your adventure. Maybe set a rule for yourself, like only checking your phone at a designated rest stop or after reaching a certain viewpoint. Okay? Once you've enjoyed the view, you can take your phone out, take your pictures, put it back. That way you can still enjoy the journey without getting sucked into the endless scroll. Otherwise, next thing you know, you're deep in a rabbit hole learning about conspiracy theories on whether birds are real. And you can laugh at that. It's a thing. Some people think birds are not real. Anyway, Also consider using apps that enhance your experience rather than distract for it. For example, if you're using a trail app to navigate, try to put your phone away once you're actually on the trail. This way you can enjoy the journey without getting sucked into the distractions. It's kind of like having a delicious slice of cake. You don't want to overdo it and ruin the experience. And who doesn't love cake, right? Next up, let's talk about documenting your adventures versus sharing them on social media. There's nothing wrong with wanting to capture those epic views, but it is totally essential to find a balance between taking photos and actually enjoying the moment. This has happened to me too many times, especially at the Winter Jam concerts. I'm so focused on taking videos and photos, I'm missing the concert. University of California has some research that says that people who prioritize experiencing nature over documenting it reported feeling happier and more fulfilled. So maybe take a few snaps, then put the phone away and just soak in the scenery. After all, you don't want your camera roll to be more impressive than your actual memories. Lastly, let's not forget about the importance of connecting with others if you're out in the outdoors. If you are someone that enjoys making new friends, technology can help you find hiking groups or outdoor events. But once you're out there, focus on building those real life connections instead of getting lost in your phone. Sometimes our phone is our blanket, our security blanket. We don't know what to say, so we pick up our phone to look through it. Join a local hiking club or a walking club or a running club. The running clubs, I know that here they have running clubs where you actually can walk to if you don't want to run, or attend some outdoor meetups. These are fantastic ways to meet fellow adventurers and share stories that don't require a hashtag. Plus, you're bound to make some great friends who can really help you find those hidden gems out in nature. Research from the American Journal of Lifestyle Medicine shows that social connections in outdoor settings can boost our overall well-being. So get out there and mingle. So folks, to wrap it up, finding balance when it comes to technology and nature is totally doable. Whether it's embracing tech-free time, using devices mindfully, documenting your experiences without getting lost in sharing them, or connecting with others, there are plenty of ways to enjoy the best of both worlds. Tech does not have to be the villain in our outdoor adventures. In fact, when we use it mindfully, it can make our adventures even better. So the next time you hit the trails, aim for that happy balance. I mean, after all, the real goal is to walk away with incredible memories, not just a stuffed camera roll. But hey, if you see a breathtaking sunset or a really cool rock formation, go ahead and snap the pic. I get it. All right, friends, that's a wrap on today's episode. Let's take a quick look back at what we've covered. We've explored the double-edged sword of technology in the outdoors, the good stuff like navigation and community, the not so great stuff like distractions and social media pressures. Most importantly, we talked about how to find that balance, using tech to enhance our adventures without letting it take over, right? Whether you decide to go completely tech-free for a day or just start being more mindful about how you use your devices, I hope this episode gave you a little inspiration to unplug and truly soak in the beauty around you. If you enjoyed this episode, if it made you laugh or think or feel the urge to lace up your hiking boots, do me a favor and share it with a friend. Let's spread the love for nature and all adventures it holds. And don't forget to subscribe to The Natural Life so you never miss an episode. We've got plenty more great topics coming your way. Hopefully, I can get my brother on here very soon talking about a positive mindset. Oh, and if you're more of a visual person, be sure to check us out on Facebook. I'd love to see you over there. I'd love to see more subscribers there. It's so new, me putting this on Facebook. I'd just love to continue the conversation. Let me know what you're interested in learning about. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you for being part of this journey. Now get out there, enjoy nature, maybe leave your phone in your pocket for a bit. Until next time, take care and make it a great day.